The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural, metaphysical, paranormal. You know, all those things you've been wondering about? Are you ready to go deeper into the realms of the unknown? I hope you've got your walking shoes on, because life is an adventure, and this is the journey. Come on, let's go. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. This is the Journey Radio Show, and hey, we're the She-Squatchers. I'm Jen Cruz, your host, and I've got my trusty teammate, Jenna Grover. Hey, Jenna.
Hey, everyone.
Hey. Sad to say that Tammy couldn't join us tonight. She had something come up, but she says hello and she misses you all, and she'll be back next week with us. But we've got a super exciting night for you all. We've got a very special guest joining us tonight. Her name is Marie Dumont. Marie, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for
great.
having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are thrilled that you could come be with us. We've actually met Marie in person down at Gatlinburg, Tennessee at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. That was a delight.
Yeah.
And we ended up in some of the same magazines this year. Oh my goodness.
You know, right?
You must check us out in those. You want to tell everybody about those magazines, Marie?
Oh, let's see. I think we are in the
Paranormal Press.
Fourth edition of the Paranormal Press magazine. It was the special conference edition, I believe. And we're also in the Squatch GQ magazine. You guys made the cover. I didn't. But I'm on page 55. That's where my pictures and articles are at. So we're all in it.
Yes, we are. So we have to like hang out on the show. We're all in it together.
Yes, exactly. You guys made the cover, not me. So
well, you can be on the cover next time. Next time.
Yes.
Oh, and I also saw that you spoke at, or did you speak at the last, was it in Florida? The Conference for Gather Up Events?
Yes. The Great Florida Bigfoot Conference was in January. I was one of the featured speakers along with Dr. Maria Mayer, Lauren Coleman, and Lyle Blackburn.
Nice.
So that was quite an honor. I was very excited to be a part of that. And my team, I had my team up on stage with me, my research team. Cool. So it was a great experience. It was just wonderful.
Did they pick you up at the airport holding your sign with your caricature?
No, I live here, but I picked up Lauren Coleman from the airport. So I had him in my car for like an hour driving him to Lakeland.
Isn't he wonderful? He is just the sweetest guy.
He is. He's just wonderful.
So what did you talk about? I'm just curious, since you said you had him in your car for an hour.
We were talking about Bigfoot. Hello. I don't remember. I mean, yeah, we talked about Bigfoot. We talked about the museum, talked about just, because I don't know that much about him. I know he had the museum in Maine. So we talked about the museum, a little bit. So we just had a good time. It was just great to get to know him. He's such a nice man.
He is. He is. We love hanging out with Lauren. That's for sure. That's for sure. So Marie, will you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your background? Like, obviously you're into Bigfoot like we are, but how did that happen for you? When did that happen?
Well, I've always been into everything paranormal. So I've been, into it for many, 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 many years. And I started out as a ghost hunter. And I used to go out ghost hunting with my friends. We would go to different locations in Florida, and we would go also to Savannah, Georgia, which is the best place to go ghost hunting. And so that was so exciting. We did that. I still do that every now and then. it's just harder and harder to find haunted locations now to go to. A lot of buildings don't let you go in them anymore, and blah blah blah. So I did that for a while, and then I started researching aliens and UFOs. And in that process, there seemed to be some similarities between what people are finding ghost hunting and what people are seeing when they're looking for aliens or UFOs, you know? So I was very interested in that for a while. I still am. And I would go out with friends, do night sky watches on the weekends and look for UFOs and just enjoy looking at the sky, the stars and stuff. And I'm fortunate enough to have seen 2 UFOs in my life. So I'm very grateful for that. That was super exciting. And then I started reading stuff about Bigfoot and skunk apes in Florida. And again, some of the stuff I was reading about, like reports, some of the stuff people were seeing, again, it's very similar to what you see or experience when you're ghost hunting or when you're looking for aliens and UFOs. So that's what got me interested in to all of that. So anyway, years later, I went on a tour of Ocala National Forest. And it was there that I saw these huge, strange tree structures. And I was like blown away by it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I want to do this. I want to be the one to find Bigfoot or skunk apes in Florida. And so that's what I did. You know, I put together a Facebook group on, it's called the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. And I also have a channel, YouTube, called the same thing. And so I used to go out with friends Bigfooting, but they would only go every once in a while. I wanted to go out every week. So I went out every week by myself, out in the swamps, the woods, whatever, take pictures of things, and then I'd post them on my personal Facebook page. But I only had a handful of friends who were even remotely interested in Bigfoot. So I was like, and future employers, I don't want them to see all the things I'm into. So I decided that wasn't the place for it. So then I started looking for a Florida research group that I liked. I couldn't find anything at the time. So it was then that I started the group. And I've had it now for over a year. I have over 1,200 members. And at least 95% of those people all live in the state of Florida, which is great. That I actually have that many Floridians who are interested in learning more about Bigfoots and skunk apes in Florida. So very exciting. It's been very successful. And so I started to meet up with some of the group members to go out on investigations. And that's how I met all my current research team members. It is from my Facebook group. So it's been just great. Just great.
That's wonderful. So now when you go out looking for Bigfoot, how many people are you taking with you?
There's 7 people total in the team. So it could be anything from 2 to 3 people all the way to 7 people, you know, so we could spread out, cover more territory, you know, so.
Very fun. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love how Facebook brings people together. It definitely does that for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I'm sorry. I'm so impressed with your numbers. 95% of the people that are on there, wow, are from Florida. That's amazing. And
it is amazing.
I mean, that's a popular group in Florida. That's exciting.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And some people, you know, when they're Bigfoot groups, they just take anybody that, you know, who wants to join. Mm-hmm. I am more selective because I really want Florida people, you know, in there. Sure. And so that's how I have at least 95% Floridians. So that's really, they're from all over the state, and they all go researching in their areas. And I want them to share their findings, which they are, on my page. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's just amazing how well it has worked out. And it's worked out the way I wanted it to work out. So
Good, good. So you'll have to forgive this from a northern girl who lives in Minnesota in the tundra.
yeah.
You're going out to the swamps in Florida. Aren't you scared of the alligators?
No, not really. Of course, I mean, you may find like little baby gators in a swamp, but the gators usually really hang out in creeks or rivers or larger bodies of water, the big gators. But in the swamp, maybe you'll see a little baby gator. I've never seen one. The thing you got to worry about is water moccasins. That's a really deadly snake that likes to be around water.
So, what kind of protection can you wear? You're talking about water moccasins and small gators. What do you do to protect yourself and other Floridians?
Well, everybody, all of my team members, we all wear snake boots, and
Okay.
they are waterproof, and they go up to about the knees. So they're knee-high waterproof snake boots, and they're hard as a rock for a reason, so that if anything was to, try to bite, they're not going to get through those boots.
Perfect. Okay.
Or you can get those gator things. So you can, I think you had some, didn't you? When you went to Texas, you had some wrapped around your shoes, on your calves. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Those were, I think they were called snake guards. I'm not sure,
snake
but
guard.
yeah, they were hard to walk uphill though. I mean, when you're trying to walk uphill and you're a shorter girl, oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I'm 5'4", so the boots go right up to my knees, right below my knees. But they're very difficult to put on and take off. But once they're on, then they're good. So, but thank God I wear them, because I'm very comfortable wearing those boots out there in the swamps. I could just walk through anything that I want to. I don't like to walk through the water, but if I have to, I'm okay, because I got the boots to protect me. So.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I have a fear of gators. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, they're out there. Yes, I saw some this weekend at a river. So that I was investigating. There was a river running alongside of where I was investigating, and sure enough, I could see one sitting there, and then he started swimming off. So it's always exciting to see nature out there, even if it's a gator.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you got interested in Bigfoot. You started going out and looking for Bigfoot. Have you seen a Bigfoot?
No, I have not, unfortunately, but I will. I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. Me and my team, we are out there every single weekend, sometimes more than once a weekend, sometimes during the week. So, to me, I'm trying to increase my odds of, being at the right place at the right time by going out frequently. We love going out, and we are very dedicated and serious, and we're all about going out all the time and just researching and seeing what we can find and blah, blah, blah. I've had everything else happen. I've had a major vocalization in the Ocala National Forest. I've found every possible kind of tree structure you could think of. Footprints, hairs, all kinds of things we have found.
So do the skunk apes, do they throw rocks too?
I don't know, maybe, but I mean, as I talk to you, I always say, Bigfoots and skunk apes.
I noticed that. So
Uh-huh.
tell me, you think they're two different things, or what do you think the correlation is between them?
Yeah, well, me and I know a bunch of Florida researchers who tend to believe that we have two different species going on here. That we do have Bigfoot, the traditional Bigfoot, and in the northern Florida, the central Florida area, seems to be the reports, the sightings are of a large creature, 7 to 10 feet tall, footprints, 5 toes, the traditional, what it is you hear about. But the skunk ape reports are very different. If you go from like Mayaca, which is like Sarasota, down south to the Everglades, the reports are very different. The creature there seems to be 5 to 7 feet tall, very aggressive, and has 4-toed footprints. Has 4 toes.
And what
So,
about the big toe? How does the big toe correlate to the foot?
it's just looks normal, but there's only 4 toes. It's just only 4 toes, and like David Shealy down in the Skunk Ape headquarters down in the Everglades, he has tons of 4-toed footprints that he has cast down there. And I have another friend who has found 3 footprints with 4 toes down in the Everglades. So it's just like deer. Deer here in Florida, northern Florida, they're bigger. But once you get further south Florida, where it's hotter, they're much smaller. So to us, it makes sense that there could be a subspecies of Bigfoot that's smaller, just like the typical wildlife in Florida. As you move further south, everything gets mostly smaller. So it's just interesting. It's fascinating, and I would love to see. Love to see both of them.
What about the reports of the teeth? Are the teeth being reported differently between the two?
I don't know anything about the teeth.
Okay.
Don't know. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I heard one person say that the skunk ape has
Double rows
fangs where Bigfoot is usually reported as having more human-like teeth.
That's how it's usually depicted in drawings.
Mm-hmm.
That there's always like fangs. Don't know if it really is that way or not. Maybe. I mean, if you think about like the Everglades, what is out there for it to eat? Okay, it's going to eat an alligator. So it needs some really good teeth to pierce through an alligator hide, right? Python snakes. You've got hogs. You've got, there's actually bears out there. There's black bears there. And just all kinds of, the Everglades was the funnest place to investigate, but it was the scariest place to investigate, because it was just like every moment we were out there, we're like, what was that? Oh my God, is there going to be a Florida panther that's going to jump out and eat us? It was just crazy. Even the Florida panthers there are big and aggressive. Everything's aggressive there because everything's big and everything's out to kill you, to eat each other. So we were just kind of like, what have we gotten ourselves into? But it was a lot of fun. Like we were out down this trail and this little bunny rabbit jumped out and it was sitting there eating the grass, and we just froze because we're just waiting for something to come out and snatch it and eat it. Like a gator, a snake, panther, whatever else out there. But it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
There is a question in the chat room. Sherry's asking, do both Bigfoot and skunk apes eat gators and or moccasins?
Probably, I'm sure, because that's the kind of thing you would find down here is gators. I have found gator hides and, gator vertebrae and stuff like that, and like in the green swamp. Of course, we don't know what's doing that. It could be a human. It could be a human poaching, or it's something larger that's, killing and eating a 6-7 foot alligator. So anything is possible. And moccasins are pretty popular, predominant, like in the green swamp areas and stuff like that. Some rattlesnakes, some other little snakes, but yeah, they would probably go for a water moccasin too.
How big do those get?
I almost stepped on one once when I was walking through a watery area down the Florida Trail. I was getting ready to take a step, and Tim, my fellow researcher, he was like, "There's a water moccasin," and I was like, "Okay, I'm out." So I just spun around and just left. I almost stepped on it because it was in the water and it was black, and so it just blended perfectly in the water. And I almost got it. Thank God I had my snake boots on, but still, I don't want to step on a water moccasin. Not at all.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. So when you've been out, what is some of the favorite things that you've encountered or that you've experienced on your Bigfoot hunts?
My favorite thing?
Yeah.
Well, I love Ocala National Forest. That is like one of my absolute favorite places to investigate, just because it's really large and there's a lot of trees. So there's a lot of what I call building materials for making things for Bigfoot, So like when I find X structures, they're huge. I mean, they're like at least 8 to 10 feet tall, The craziest thing I ever found out there was I found what looked like a wall was being built. It was the craziest thing. There were 2 large trees, both broken off at the same, parallel to each other, broken off at the same point. And below it were a bunch of X's. And on top of it, over it, were arches. This thing was at least 10, 12 feet tall and at least 30 feet wide. It looked like a wall. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. Not tree fall, because it was just too designed, is what I call it. So that was my favorite thing I've ever found.
What did your instinct tell you? What did it mean? What do you think it meant?
Well, that spot, I've also have seen large X structures, walls, and then they'll change. At one point, there were a bunch of arches, so it looked like a half circle, almost like a dome, something that looked like a dome. So it just changes all the time. Now, okay, so COVID. Let's talk about COVID for a second. When COVID hit, they shut down the forest for months. And I was out of work. I got furloughed because of COVID. And when they announced that they were opening the forest back up, me and my friends immediately went out there because we're like, okay, nobody's been around. We gotta go out there and see, if we find footprints, the animals are not used to humans being around, so hopefully there'll be something roaming around, So we took off, we went there, and one of the first things we saw was a black bear just roaming, walking down the middle of the road, which was very exciting. But so everything was clear, everything was fine. We went back the following week, and the trail that we went on before, now it had 5 broken trees that were laid all across the trail, about 25 feet, just one after the other. And then there was a small pine tree that was bent over all that, and it was secured down by the broken trees. So, and then there was a big X to the left of this. So we definitely got the impression that something was trying to keep us humans out of there, because it blocked the trail and there was a big X next to it. So had to been keep out, go away, stay away, humans. So that was very exciting. That was like, wow, those kind of moments. It's like, oh yeah, this is him. This is Bigfoot. So exciting.
Jenna.
Well, now you were talking about all of these pieces being put together in structures, and did you notice any kind of weaving?
Oh yeah,
in the smaller pieces.
Yeah, the X's and stuff are woven. The arch, I think, was even woven a little bit because it was secured down on the other side by the broken trees. So, and the dome thing we saw was definitely woven. It had just a bunch of arches, just all clumped together, and it formed an arch, like a dome that you could actually walk into. It was
doggone it. I wish
weird.
It would have been so neat to be able to be there at that moment.
Oh yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah. It's all very exciting. So I love Ocala. It's always a great place.
How far away do you live from there?
2 hours. It's 2 hours.
And you're going there every weekend almost?
No, Ocala, I go there like every 2 or 3 months, maybe. Our primary investigation area is the Green Swamp, and that's outside of Lakeland, Florida, where the conference was. So that is our primary area of research. It's 1 hour away for all of us, and there's where we have some spots out there that are really weird, very weird. Lots of tree breaks, arches. Have found footprints out there. We've had our equipment malfunction, which is really unusual, and it's just been a good, fun place to go to, and it's huge. It's so large. You could hit a different spot every week for the next 20 years, and you probably never see everything. It's just a very large, and some of those areas you can't get to when it's wet because it fills up. When it starts raining, the swamps fill up. So.
Very neat. Very neat. Well, with that, we're coming close to the halfway mark of the show. So why don't we hit our commercial break and stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back with Marie Dumont. Awesome.
Is it
All right, I always just assume that we're there.
Oh, I cannot wait to visit Florida.
Yeah. Not in the summer.
Yeah.
Wintertime.
Yeah. I'm not a hot weather girl.
Yeah. I can't even handle it. I mean, when it hit 90 degrees like a week ago, I'm like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. And then you're trying to go out in the swamp. So heat and water, you get mosquitoes, and it's just a nightmare. Oof. I saturate myself in bug spray, and they still get me.
You don't go out alone anymore, do you?
I still do. if nobody
Scares me.
can go with me, I will go by myself. Like this past weekend, I was by myself.
Oh, you be careful, girl.
Hmm. Yeah, especially when I found this spot that looks like a boneyard. I found like at least 7 probably different animals that were killed. There's bones everywhere.
Dinner plate.
I don't know what it was. I'm thinking, what I'm really thinking is probably a Florida panther. Or it could be Bigfoot, but it could be a panther. Because like one of the things was a gator. And the gator wasn't, there's no reason for a gator to be that far in a dry area. They like water.
Gotcha.
So yeah, why was there a dead gator? So something got it, carried it over here, and ate it.
That does sound more like a panther.
So yeah, because panthers will do that. And
So
they were like,
welcome back to the show, everyone. Hey, this is the Journey Radio Show, and we're the She-Squatchers. Won't you check us out online at She-Squatchers.com? And would you please come on over to our YouTube channel at She-Squatchers Official, and please, please, please subscribe to our channel. We are still in that subscribers race with that other YouTuber who will remain nameless, but he's still challenging us all the time to although we are ahead right now, but we want to really be really far ahead. So please come subscribe to our channel and help us smash him. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at She-Squatchers Official, so please like and follow our pages there for all of our current happenings. Let's see, we are currently in April. In May, we're going to be in North Carolina at the WNC Bigfoot Festival, where they're expecting 20 to 40,000 people, and we will be there.
wow.
So come see us out there. We're going to be there. The following month, we will be in Washington State at the Medline Falls Conference. So come out and see us there if you can. Lots more things going on. We can't wait to see you all there. So we're going to get back to our guest. We've got Marie Dumont with us, and she's coming to us from Florida, where they have the skunk ape. Wahaha. All right, Marie, back to your stories.
Yes. So what do you want me? What do you want me to talk about? I mean, is it? Do you want me to talk about my Facebook page a little bit, or
you sure could. You sure
well,
could.
I want to talk about my research team. Do you mind?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So there's 7 of us, and like I said, I met them all through my Facebook page. We used to go out investigating, and then we decided let's start a research group. So that's what we did. And so it's me, Tim Turner, Waynette Turner, Desi Herder, Mike Aguilar, Ruby Joe Brew, and Troy Palmer. And we bring, every one of us brings something different to the table. And so, for instance, my specialty, my niche is structures. I'm really good at finding structures of all types. You know, the teepees, the X structures, the lean-tos. I also find footprints. But you know, I'm a artistic and creative person, so I think that's why those things stand out to me. It's like it's some kind of like art form or something, artwork, because it seems to be designed or placed in a certain manner. It doesn't look natural out there. So that's my niche. And I'm also, I take pictures for the Facebook page. And then I handle all the social media and all that good stuff. Tim Turner, he is a long time hunter, and he's a tracker. He's very good at what he does. I mean, he's able to identify every possible animal track out there. He's just super good at that. He's really good at finding hairs, and he has a microscope at home, so he can analyze the hairs. And he has a collection of hairs from animals that he does know. So he'll compare the hairs to the known hairs that he has so he can figure out what this animal is. But he has some hairs that are mysterious that he can't identify. So that's pretty exciting. Tim also does film. He films us out there, and he also makes, films other things. And he puts together little research videos to post on our site. And so then Wynette, his wife, for some reason, she's really good at finding animal carcasses. And so that seems to be her niche. But she also helps Tim out with the video, helping to film the things that we're seeing out there. Desi Herder, she films, and she handles the audio. She has audio recorders, and she spends countless hours after our investigation analyzing what sounds she's picking up on the audio equipment. So she works with Tim with the audio and the film as well. She's very detail oriented, excellent researcher. And then Mike Aguilar, his specialty is finding creepy new places to investigate. He just has an eye for picking out these great squatchy places. And he's very good at finding prints. He's had a sighting, and he's good with structures. So we're just glad to have him on the team. We have 2 new members. That's Ruby Jo Brew. She has a vast knowledge of wildlife in Florida and plant life. So that comes in handy when, we're looking at tree breaks or looking at something that involves plants or whatever. She's able to determine like what animal did this, blah, 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 blah. She's really good at all that. And then Troy Palmer, he's another newbie, and he is our actual open-minded skeptic on the team, which is great. I think every team needs to have a skeptic there. But he's also a professional photographer, and he has, great camera equipment with lenses that are like this long. And so he's just very good at, taking pictures. He's a professional wildlife photographer. So, he could see way deep, 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 deep into the green swamp or whatever, where we can't see. And he's also an engineer. So he logically figures, tries to figure out things. But last 2 weeks ago, he saw his first footprint. It had toes, 5 toes. So he was super excited about that. And so it was good. All of us together worked very well. And we like each other, and we have a real positive energy vibe going amongst us. So we've been very successful, and it's just been wonderful. Wonderful. We love every moment of it.
That's important.
Yeah, congratulations. It's so hard to get a team, a group of people that get along so well and that are all on, that are all there for each other.
Yes, we are.
That's tough.
We are. We have a Facebook chat. We talk every single day. We talk about, new theories or where we're going to go this weekend or what we need to do and, what we need to do next. And it's just, and we're very easygoing. All of us are easygoing. So if somebody says, hey, I want to go down to Mayaca, and we're like, okay, sure, fine, I'll go, So we're just very open-minded, easy to get along with. And, we have a great time. I'm very grateful to have a great research team.
That's so important.
Yes.
We have a question in the chat room. Paul is asking, does Marie feel like she's being watched when she's in the swamp or woods?
I don't. I'll take back. I've had that happen once. Now, Tim and Mike, they get that feeling. They get that, we feel like we're being watched kind of thing. I only had that happen once in Ocala National Forest when I was walking down a trail with some friends of mine. And it was a kind of a breezy day, so the trees were moving and stuff. But I kept hearing what sounded like something walking to the left of me. And I just kept turning my head, just kept looking. And I was like, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I feel like there's something walking next to us. And one of my friends was like, I feel the same thing. So two of the three of us could hear the exact same thing, and we had the exact same thought that there was something walking along next to us, but we couldn't see anything, but we could hear it. So, but Mike and Tim, they're more sensitive to that, I guess, when we're out in the field than I am. I typically don't get that feeling. I don't know. Do you ladies get that way? Do you feel that?
Sometimes we have. I know of one. Well, when we get rocks thrown at us too, so we know we're being watched.
We actually had a stick thrown at us during a night investigation in January, and we didn't know it at the time. We didn't know it until we looked at the video, and we're like, "What is that?" You see something whoop, fly across the screen, and it hit Tim's backpack. You could hear it thunk, thunk, and then hit the ground. So it was a stick that was about that long. And it was like, oh my God, we didn't even know that happened. Not until we saw it on the video.
Oh, wow. Isn't that fun when you find things on the video later that you missed? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I found that when we find something and I'm so focused on the thing that we find that I completely miss the other thing that's right next to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But it was pitch black out there, we're like, we're just like, we got our thermal cameras, night vision and stuff. And we weren't saying anything, but yet something, the stick was this long. So it had to have been pretty close to throw that stick. So it wasn't like it was like 50 feet away and it threw this little stick. No.
You think maybe it was up in the tree?
No, because the trees aren't that sturdy enough.
Ah, okay.
In the, down here we get our oak trees. They're kind of scrawny. They're live oaks typically, so they're very brittle. They're really scrawny looking. So maybe a cypress tree they could climb if it's an older one. But typically, they're not going to climb a oak tree out in the swamp, which is where we were at. So,
gotcha.
But like I said, we've had, we are not a woo-woo research group. We report what it is we find or things that happen to us. Well, part of that is we're having paranormal stuff happen to us while we're out there.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Equipment failures. My phone, especially. 4 times I've had my phone malfunction. The first time, my phone is locked and password protected. I can just hit it and it doesn't do anything or whatever. Well, something got in my phone while it was in my pocket. Something unlocked my phone, went on the internet, searched for weather.com and started playing weather videos. It's just weird. Just 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, my phone was in my pocket, obviously, and I hear music. And I'm like, where is that coming from? We're in the Green Swamp. And I pull out my phone. My phone, again, unlocked itself, went to the settings and started playing alarm ringtones, like for your alarm clock. It did that. But the funniest one, and you're going to get a kick out of this one, is, it still just blows me away. twice. I have found X structures, and I've walked up to the X structure. My phone in my pocket unlocks itself, calls 2 ex-boyfriends while I'm walking up to X structures.
And how do you explain that?
I don't know. But it happened twice. And Tim got it on video one of the times. And I'm like, what? I check my phone. I'm like, why is he calling me? And I'm like, hello? And he's like, you called me? And I'm like, no, I didn't call you. Yeah, you did call me. No, I didn't. That's happened twice. 2 different ex-boyfriends, 2 different X structures. Come on.
That's interesting.
Isn't
I
that
wonder if you have like
interesting?
an old grandma type of woman going, I know what kind of man she needs. I will make sure she finds her. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's just freaky. Now, like Desi, she does the audio, and we've actually picked up voices on the audio recorder, which would be EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. And we've had that happen about 7 times, different locations throughout Florida. We've had one say my name. It sounded like it said Marie. It's crazy. And, like I said, we're not woo-woo researchers, investigators. We are just reporting what it is we are finding or experiencing out there.
And when I say that, people call us woo.
Yes, exactly.
They
We're
hear
not,
me
we're
say,
not
this is,
woo.
this is
but-
what happened. And they're like, oh, you're woo. And I'm like, I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, I'm just reporting. We're just reporting what happens to us. We are not looking for paranormal activity. We're looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But these things are being captured or happening to us while we're out there. So I can't explain that.
Right.
But we shouldn't be categorized as woo because it's happening to us. It's happening.
You can see why so many Bigfoot researchers never report that stuff because of
Correct.
that.
Correct. That's
Most of
exactly
them are
right.
experiencing those things. They're just maybe not saying it.
Absolutely. I know doggone well they are. They're just not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about it because it's got to be related somehow.
What about lights? Have you been seeing strange balls of light?
No, I have not. Not while Bigfooting, even though I know people have reported seeing like blue orbs, usually in the woods is the most common one. I have not seen that. Have not seen lights out there yet.
Okay.
Fireflies, that's it.
Okay. We've encountered some strange lights in Minnesota.
What
Some
color?
of them, the ones in the water are like fireballs, and they can fly up out of the water.
Oh, wow.
I actually have video of that.
That's cool.
And then we were looking for Bigfoot in an area of Minnesota where someone had seen Bigfoot during the day walking across this marshy bog from one set of trees to another set of trees that was in this marshy bog. And so we wanted to go investigate. Well, the landowner said, no, you can't go out there. You'll fall through the bog and drown. So we were not allowed to go out there and look, but we did the next best thing. We waited till the middle of the night and we went out there to the road and we parked the car, and Jenna had a really cool unicular night vision camera that could see really far in the dark.
Right.
And so we're sitting there and the car is turned off. She's got the window open. She's looking through this camera. I'm just eyeballing it with my eyes. And we're looking for that Bigfoot to see if we see any Bigfoot walking around out there.
Right.
Well, instead of Bigfoot, we started seeing these lights out in an area where they don't allow any people because it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Jenna, do you see those lights? And that camera can see really far. So her scope of vision was quite much smaller than me looking at the whole area. And she's like, wait. So she looked around and she found it. And we put it on our YouTube channel under Strange Lights. So it was a very interesting evening. And when we turned the camera off and felt like it was time to go, now we'd been sitting there with the car turned off for quite some time, right? And I'm behind the driver's seat, and all of a sudden, this light lit up the whole car, like from outside, just lit it up. The whole car was lit up, and then the car lights turned on the inside. Everything
Wow.
turned on and off and on and off and on and off. And Jenna's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not doing it."
I
We've
really
had that
thought Jen
happen.
was doing it. I was
Yeah,
just
we've
like,
had
why
that
is she doing that?
happen when
I'm
we were
doing this.
doing.
I'm not doing
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
And I was a little freaked out. I'm like, "It's time to go." It's time to go.
That's exciting, though. You gotta
Yes.
love it.
But at the moment, I'm like, I don't want to be abducted. Do you? Anal probes are not in my future. Thank you.
Now, there's been reports of UFOs also in, in areas where there've also been like a Bigfoot sighting or whatever. Even the Green Swamp, a friend of mine said that he was leaving the Green Swamp and he saw this like bar of light just go shooting across the top of the trees. And definitely that's not normal. That's not any normal aircraft. And there's a researcher in Ocala National Forest. He's seen 2 UFOs. One lit up his tent in the middle of the night. That would scare me. But we can't explain this. But just because it's happening to us does not mean we are woo researchers. We're just
Right.
reporting what's happening to us. And I want people to understand that. It's very important.
And
Because
I know we did paranormal things before we started doing Bigfoot as well. So I'm very familiar with how those kind of experiences can drain your cameras and your lights and everything that you've got going on. What I didn't expect when we were researching a structure area up in Minnesota on my reservation and it got dark, we brought out our night equipment, which was fully charged. I have a huge spotlight flashlight that it has like a 6 months charge on it, had just been charged. And that started going dead. Everything died like that fast.
wow.
And so I'm reaching in my bag looking for whatever I have left. I had 2 headlamps in my bag and my cell phone with 13% left on it. And I'm like, all right, this is what we got. And and those headlamps weren't really strong enough to help us find our way out. We couldn't
Yeah.
see very far at all. It was kind of scary. And the person that we had with us that evening had already walked back to the truck because they were cold and all of their equipment was dead. And here's us still trying to keep going with whatever we have left. What do
Exactly.
we have left? What do we have left?
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it happened to us in I mean, a place that we obviously knew was Bigfoot related. We were at this huge structure that was den-like. I mean, it was huge. And very intricate. Jenna was asking you if anything was weaved together because this thing literally was weaving even the tiniest branches together.
Yeah.
And was placing trees on top of each other like logs in a log house, but then weaving the branches together so they were like tightly locked.
That's really cool.
Easy.
I found a structure in the green in an area of the Green Swamp, and I call it the Blair Witch Badass Structure because it was all what was it? It was a pine tree bent over, and it had an oak tree branch that was stuck in the middle of it. So anyway, it just looked like, those creepy hanging things in the movie Blair Witch Project. That's what it looked like, but it was 6 feet tall. And it was like, what the heck is this? So it was very tightly woven, like you said, very tightly woven. The oak tree branch couldn't even move it, could not budge it. And we went back a month later to see if anything changed, and it was broken. The oak tree branch right where it was tightly woven in there was broken. And I'm like, how did this break? Because you couldn't move it. And something had to have 2 hands to snap it in half. It was like that big around. I mean, it was a good size branch that we tried manipulating it. And we're like, how? And how did it break it without pulling it out to break it? No, it was still tightly woven in there, and it was just snapped. And one of the pieces that formed that weird X structure thing it didn't fall over like this. It was like placed down. So it was a very hidden spot. I mean, it was a miracle I ever found it to begin with. But I'm wondering if a Bigfoot smelled us there and got pissed off and punched it and broke it. Because I couldn't get two hands like this to break it. So, his hands would be bigger or whatever. So I'm just wondering, anything's possible, but it could be maybe he punched it because he was pissed and broke it. So that was a month later. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, the Blair Witch badass structure.
It's funny.
I love my names because Desi even walked up and she's like, "Oh my God, that looks like something out of the Blair Witch Project." And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. So.
Yeah, I've referenced the Blair Witch many times while in the woods. There was one.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to find out there. It's it's like a treasure hunt for me. I love it. You never know what you're going to find. You hope to find something, but if you don't, it's okay. I get excited just finding a mushroom popping out of the leaves, out of the ground, 1 week in the summer last year in the Green Swamp, there were these beautiful purple mushrooms that were just popping up everywhere, so that excites me as well, so
I love that.
I love it. So it's like a treasure hunt.
Marie, we are coming close to the end, and I do want to give you time to tell everyone how they can find you online, and please share that information with our listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. My Facebook group is the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group on Facebook. YouTube, and it's also the same name, Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. And there I post, those are my little videos that I will film out there. They're like 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. And it's when I find something really cool, like a cool structure, I'll do a quick little video of it and I'll post it. And then we just launched a brand new website for our research team. It's called the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group, but the website address is midfloridabigfoot.com. So please go there, take a look around. It's all about our team. You could see the bios about each one of us. You can see pictures. We have a photo gallery there of a lot of the stuff that we have found out in the, out doing field investigation work. There's also a page there about Florida, in case people don't know about Florida. And by the way, Florida is ranked number 3 for having the most Bigfoot sightings in the United States, according to the BFRO. So people aren't lying. We do have them in Florida.
That music says we are at the end of the show. So thank you so much to Marie for coming and joining us tonight. We hope you'll come back again another time and share more of your findings with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I totally appreciate it. You girls are great.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Remember, everybody, check out her YouTube channel, her new website, and her Facebook group. And
MidFloridaBigfoot.com.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, She-Squatchers Official. Help us out. See you next week, everyone. Good night.